Whether your flooring installation is for a newly constructed property or building renovation, chances are specifications will require the installation of a quality flooring underlayment that provides a smooth, flat surface compatible with the specified flooring. ARDEX K15 is widely recognized as the preferred self-leveling underlayment that provides a durable, flat, smooth surface with minimum labor and installation time. Use ARDEX K15 over concrete, terrazzo, ceramic and quarry tile, wooden floors, steel decking, cutback, and other adhesive residues above, on, or below grade. When mixed, ARDEX K15 becomes a liquid compound that produces its own flat, smooth surface. ARDEX K15 may be installed from a feather edge to any thickness, accepts new floor covering in 16 hours with a compressive strength of 4100 psi. Installing ARDEX K15 over new concrete must not begin until the new slab cures for a minimum of 28 days with a moisture level that is acceptable to the floor covering manufacturer. Until more accurate moisture testing methods gain broader acceptance, ARDEX recommends the calcium chloride method as the best way to test for moisture emissions in concrete. Tests with results that show emission levels greater than the recommendations of the finished floor manufacturer should be corrected using a moisture remediation material such as the ARDEX Moisture Control System. Moisture remediation procedures must be performed after the substrate has been cleaned, but before the installation of ARDEX K15. Moisture control materials should never be installed on top of any self-leveling material. Substrate preparation is the key to a successful installation. The substrate must be structurally sound, dry, and mechanically cleaned to remove all oil, grease, wax, dust, dirt, asphalt, curing compounds, sealers, latex and gypsum patching materials, paint, and any other contaminant that may act as a bond breaker. ARDEX recommends mechanically cleaning concrete substrates with methods such as shot blasting, scarifying, grinding, bush hammering, or sandblasting. Never use acid etching, sweeping compounds, solvents, or adhesive removers as methods of substrate preparation, as these materials may leave a residue that will affect the bond of the underlayment or finished floor covering. If any of these materials are used, they must be mechanically removed. ARDEX K15 is Portland cement based and is not a moisture barrier. Therefore, moisture, alkali, and bond tests should be conducted before all installations, whether above, on, or below grade. Use the calcium chloride method to test for moisture emissions and correct these problems before installing. K15, as well as any self-leveling or patching underlayment material, should never be installed over expansion joints, isolation joints, or construction joints. Honor these moving joints in the slab through the new self-leveling material directly over the moving joint. In cases where a moving joint does not run in a straight line, insert finish nail markers into the patched joint areas prior to self-leveling. After leveling, cut the nails flush with the underlayment and then saw cut through the underlayment from nail marker to nail marker. Finally, fill the saw cut with an elastomeric material. Control joints extend into the concrete to a depth of 1/4 to 1/3 of the thickness of the slab and should be completely filled with ARDEX feather finish prior to the installation of ARDEX K15 or the finished floor covering. Control joints must be vacuumed to remove dust and dirt from the joint prior to filling. On renovation projects, control joints must be mechanically cleaned of existing debris and patching materials prior to vacuuming and refilling the joint with ARDEX feather finish. Be sure to completely fill the entire void of the control joint. It is important to differentiate dormant cracks from active or structural cracks prior to the installation of ARDEX K15. When in doubt, seek the advice of a structural engineer before proceeding. A dormant crack may be filled with ARDEX feather finish after V'ing out any loose concrete and debris. If a dormant crack proceeds to exhibit movement, it will telegraph up through the patching material, creating a flaw in the finished floor covering. After proper preparation, substrates must be primed prior to the installation of ARDEX K15. Primers are necessary to achieve a strong bond to the substrate. ARDEX P51 primer is recommended for use only on standard absorbent concrete. Shake well and mix ARDEX P51 1:1 with water. Apply vigorously with an exploded tip nylon push broom. Remove any puddles and allow the P51 to dry for a minimum of 3 hours and no longer than 24 hours. To ensure that the P51 is dry, pour some water on the primed surface and rub it around. If the water remains clear, the primer is ready to receive the ARDEX K15. A cloudy appearance indicates that the primer requires additional drying time. When installing ARDEX K15 over smooth, non-absorbent substrates such as ceramic and quarry tile, terrazzo, wood, metal decking, and adhesive residues, use ARDEX P82 Ultra Prime. This two-part priming system requires mixing parts A and B equally and applying the mixed primer to the clean substrate with a squeegee or short nap roller. The application should be no thicker than a coat of paint, leaving no bare spots. Excess primer and puddles must be brushed off. Allow the primer to dry for a minimum of 3 hours and no longer than 24 hours. Use ARDEX E25 Resilient Emulsion for increased resiliency over metal, wood, or adhesive residue. ARDEX K15 is mixed in 2-bag batches with 7 quarts of water per bag. It is critical that ARDEX K15 is never overwatered. Using the ARDEX red pre-calibrated 7-quart measuring pail, pour the water into the T10 mixing drum first. Slowly add 2 55-pound bags of ARDEX K15 while mixing with the ARDEX T1 mixing paddle attached to a minimum 650 RPM heavy-duty half-inch drill. Mix thoroughly for a minimum of 2 minutes to a lump-free consistency. Pour ARDEX K15 onto the surface and spread with the ARDEX T4 spreader. The spreader tool should be preset to the desired thickness of your application by adjusting the sled feet up or down. This helps to ensure the consistent placement and thickness of ARDEX K15. Always wear athletic shoes with wide cleats made of rubber or plastic when walking in the wet underlayment. Finish by immediately smoothing the installed K15 with the ARDEX T5 smoother. Hold the smoother tool at an angle. Apply steady, light, even pressure to the surface of the ARDEX K15. Keep your arms locked, shoulders square, and let your feet do the work. An equal but light flow of material coming off the tip of each side of the smoother is a sign of good technique. Work quickly as the ARDEX K15 has approximately a 10-minute working time. The ARDEX toolkit is needed to manually mix and install ARDEX K15 quickly and efficiently. The kit includes the ARDEX mixing drum, various water measuring pails, mixing paddle, spreader, and smoother. ARDEX tools are available exclusively from ARDEX distributors. For large-scale projects, use the ARDEX Levelcraft pump. The pump is available for rent or purchase. Contact your local ARDEX sales professional for information. And that's it. ARDEX K15 is walkable in about 2 hours, and flooring can be installed in 16 hours. For more product information or to learn about available training opportunities, contact the ARDEX Technical Department.